Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. Well, here we are again. Today, I'm going to do the 3 days food for $5 at Dollar Tree. I think I'm going to buy $10 worth of food at Dollar Tree. What I like to do is continuously stockpile. You know, if I drive past a place, I can run in there and get a couple items every single day. So what they're expecting is spiking food prices. Actually, I'd say spiking everything prices. I couldn't get in McDonald's. One of the things that was mentioned was spiking fast food prices in food. Spiking, all the food is inflating. They're denying inflation. The bad thing about the inflation is you get home and you say, wow, I have less food. So the trick would be to aggressively pursue food that is low in price. And also they're saying that one of the things that could affect the food is these floods in Texas. And what they're predicting is what's going to be affected is leafy green vegetables. And so, you know, that could include a lot of leafy green vegetables. So I did a search. What does one do in the event that you can't get leafy green vegetables? Yellow and orange vegetables, carrots, squash, sweet potatoes. Oh, that sweet potato gravy was good. I thought, why not just make that potato and sweet potato gravy whenever you have potatoes or sweet potatoes? I never knew that recipe. It was a new one. I love it. And it also protects me from ever running out of food. Okay, so asparagus, zucchini, pumpkin, peas. So on these vegetables that can be stockpiled, this is why we want to stockpile it. Asparagus can be stockpiled. You know, you go in and there's not all the vegetables there used to be, but zucchini can be found. Pumpkin, I will be stockpiling some of that up. I usually just bought a couple like for pumpkin pies. But pumpkin pancakes are really good. I might make those. Green peas, that is one of your most valuable stockable vegetables. Cauliflower and broccoli, mushrooms, cucumbers, onions, and garlic. Those, you can get those dry and mushrooms dry. Avocados, radishes, arugula, bok choy, cilantro, I get that dry, romaine lettuce, mustard greens, watercress, cabbage. Maybe we better learn how to make cabbage. Brussels sprouts, here's the list if any of you want to take a screenshot. So that's well worth thinking about. So every time you hear one of these casual news things, you know, food may go up. Not like, oh my God, food is going up. Oh, there might not be that much leafy vegetables. Okay, now, Australia. Okay, so we're seeing, we had all this problems with the snow and the immigration. That was last week. And now Australia has had these terrible, terrible floods. Now they have a mouse plague. I've seen those, like, I mean, I haven't seen one in person, praise the Lord. I wouldn't want to see one. But like in granaries, it's not totally uncommon. But these mice were like, it seemed like in the houses, like in the vents, running in, just like zillions of mice running around on the street. That is very filthy. The problem I can see, they didn't mention this as a particular problem, was if the mice are poisoned and it gets into the water. So we got to really watch out for the water issue. I think the best thing would be just pick up one or two every time you go to the store. Okay, so now also they're predicting gas prices are going to spike. Okay, the gas spiking issue, I mean, I remember talking about that last year. In fact, I remember them predicting that driving would not really be, driving and owning cars would not be, it wouldn't be thought of as, a big deal for a lot of the population and home ownership. Okay, so now I cooked two survival meals, but I thought I want to get my survival meals out there now. I hope no one needs them. Okay, to start out, cornbread. If you put a little cheese in your cornbread, that really makes it moist. That cornbread I made with the habanero and jalapeno cheese last night was delicious. I just chopped it up in a piece, 1.5 slices. I chopped it up and I put it on top of my cornbread. Bread, I'm going to be making bread, biscuits, and pancakes. For those, I usually use mix. And if you have biscuit mix, you can make pancakes or waffles. And one of the greatest things I discovered, actually, I discovered two things off of Simply Sarah. I made cornmeal waffles and then the sweet potato gravy. That was delicious. You guys, I ate the whole thing. Okay, soup or stew and bread. That's down through the generations. Gravy and bread, gravy and noodles. Okay, when I first started YouTube, one of the things I made, and I was really surprised at the views it got, is I fried those little link sausages. Now, as of late, I found the patties, 24 for $9. But I had these little links of sausage, and I made sausage gravy, and I put the noodles in the gravy and the sausage. That could be bacon, that could be anything. Gravy and noodles, macaroni and cheese. You've seen me make that. Bean burritos or tacos. Those are really cheap. Spaghetti and lasagna. Make a big batch. That is really cheap. And one of the followers mentioned you can use cheese and herbs if you don't have any meat. So that's good to bear in mind. Eggs and fried potatoes, tuna casserole, turkey. Okay, you take your turkey lunch meat and you put it in a package of gravy and heat it and eat it over mashed potatoes or toast, and you will get by. So, like, just by watching this, sometime in the future, you might want to make use of some of these. I hope you never have to. Fried rice. I've given you my fried rice recipe a million times. Scrambles. So it would be bacon or sausage, fried potatoes, and then I usually crack the eggs over the top and I make a big pile of scramble. Okay, this is a good one. Canned tomatoes. I'm looking for those, the big cans, regular tomatoes, not diced or chopped. And you heat those up, and I chop them, in fairly big pieces, and I season with salt, pepper, and sugar, and then I put it over macaroni, and then I usually serve it with some kind of meat, like cheap meat, hot dogs, hamburger patties, whatever I have, and green beans on the side. Okay, chili. You can make chili mac too. You can make, if you have those, I bought those Walmart hamburgers that are partially soy. It was 20 for $9. So they're 50 cents each. You can fry one of those and put it in your canned chili and maybe a little cheese on top, or on top of French fries. That's good too. Hot dogs, and what I make with, so chili and hot dogs, beans and bacon with cornbread, hot dogs wrapped in tortillas. So you cook your hot dogs, you wrap it in a tortilla, you fry it like a taquito, and then you eat it with ketchup. That is good, and it's cheap. Hamburger and fries. You make your own fries. They're cheaper, and I bought the 50-cent hamburgers. Oatmeal or cereal and milk. Oh, this is a good old one that I used to eat all the time. I just eat this stuff. People go, how do you stay so healthy? I go, I don't know. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I do cook myself a full-on dinner every night. You've seen me. I do exercise. I have a lot of bad habits, so I don't know why I'm so healthy. Eggs and pancakes and grilled cheese. So you can get by on this. Okay, so now I'm thinking, I'm thinking about the next decade. So even though like I'm thinking about the next decade, I'm doing everything I can today to be as cheap as I possibly can. Since the first of the year, I've been in my car pretty much from the time I get up until after it gets dark. And that saves me a lot of money because I'm not in my house. I'm not doing wear and tear on my house. I'm getting out of my house. And so now here we are, 25% of the year is gone. It's going by quick. And I have been as cheap as humanly possible. So now in the next decade, so like me, I'm 66, so realistically I might have 10 years left. So the decade is important in my case. If I was lucky, I might get 1.5 decades. And one of the followers said, well, I'm so many years old. And I always think the problem does not come if you die. It's if you survive and your money starts running out. So I'm doing everything to keep my expenses as low as possible. So we might be looking forward to a recession. Basically, we're looking forward to a recession or a depression and the grand solar minimum. So I think the grand solar minimum is what's causing a lot of these floods and heavy snows and things like that. But the bad thing about the grand solar minimum is it could cause a famine. And the Bible says in the end of times there will be famines. So if we knew there was a famine coming, you know, like winter is coming on Game of Thrones, we would be preparing for a famine. So we want to prepare for that. And another thing is we can do is we can look to other people our age who the decade between 60 and 70 or 20 and 30 and see what they did right, what they did wrong, and, you know, copy them or strenuously avoid everything they have done. In my case, you know, my son had the baby, so I know the most important thing is the baby because, you know, soon I'll be dead. So I want to enjoy the baby. So now, so now if things are not going well, and maybe it's going well today for you, but maybe next week, next month, next year, it's not. Out here in San Diego, you call 211. When I was sick that time, she directed me straight to the food pantries and food stamps and helped me out. And my followers on YouTube did too. Thank you very much. And I wanted to do that anyway, just to learn it in case I ever needed it really bad in the future. What I did is I went straight for my help before things got drastic. So I would suggest that. And then if you're even looking in the direction of Section 8, apply now and apply as many places as you can. I don't think you can over apply for stuff like that. One might come in whereas the other doesn't. The food banks and the food pantries out here, all they require, like if I wanted to, they have a food bank over here at the Salvation Army. All I have to do is take my ID. And they give me a month's worth of food if I wanted to get it. So if you're kind of like really kind of poor and you know it, people have such an aversion to the food banks and food pantries that they won't go unless, when I went to that one food pantry, my idea was just to go regularly, like, you know, and make sure that I had food. But what I noticed is that people went when they waited to go until they were really, really, really starving. I think that is a bad strategy. And it's also a bad strategy not to get some of these cheap stuff under your belt now. Like, okay, right now, you know, living in my car, supposedly, in my car. Well, I do live in my car all day. You know, I drive my car to places, but it's not hurting me one single bit to do that. And, you know, doing the $5 for 3-day shopping is just a good way to increase my stockpiling. That's not hurting me one bit either. And I noticed when I did the 3 days for $5, they were vastly improved when I first started. Okay, now when I do the food in Dollar Tree, I'm only going to get 5 items for $5. When I did it at Walmart, the first one I did, the girl said, I think I made a mistake because I had so much food for $5, and she went over my order. So the thing is, though, about Dollar Tree is I noticed the shelf-stable milk for $1 is a really good deal, and they have fairly decent-sized peanut butters for $1 as well. And so then when I go over there today, I'm going to check around and see what else they have that's at a really good deal. And I'm going to buy $5 worth of food, or I might buy a few things for the non-food stockpile. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.